With the release of the Nintendo Switch 2, there's been a lot of multi-plats released on the console due to it being specs in line with the PlayStation 4 and PS5, such as Resident Evil 9 and Pragmata. Recently, at the Nintendo Direct from last year, one of the biggest surprise announcements was that Elden Ring is finally coming to Nintendo consoles with the Nintendo Switch 2 edition. I think this is pretty interesting as Elden Ring is the biggest Japanese game that Nintendo fans never got to play. The only other one I can think of was Monster Hunter Worlds, which can be substituted for Monster Hunter Rise. However, I think that with the discourse with Elden Ring within the Souls community and general gaming audience, that it'd be very interesting to see what will become of this in the I would call Nintendo's Bloodiest battle being Breath of the Wild versus Elden Ring. And I wanted to talk a little bit about it as someone who has played a little bit of both of these games. So these are both Japanese AAA games and open world RPGs in the Legend of Zelda series and From Software's Dark Souls-like genre. And both of these games are very influential for the open world genre. Both are Game of the Year, Japanese AAA, and much more, both going for different styles of exploration, action combat, and what they do as their respective series, going from a linear style game to an open world RPG. And this is going to be very huge as a lot of the Elden Ring discourse has been pretty difficult online due to the community feeling, like, oh, you're not good at the game, or the get good. It's pretty hard to kind of talk genuine about Elden Ring with this community or sort of thing where it feels disingenuous, and I feel that with the release of the Nintendo Switch 2 version of Elden Ring that we're going to see this massive battle between Breath of the Wild versus Elden Ring, and I think it is long overdue, as we could do like Tears of the Kingdom versus Shadow of the Erdtree, but I don't think that is fair. And in the case of these games, they are very linked together, as Breath of the Wild has influence from games such as Shadow of the Colossus and even Dark Souls, and then Elden Ring, more than anything, has major influence in Breath of the Wild for a Japanese AAA open world game, and you can see how Breath of the Wild's influence has influenced other games in the genre, such as like a Sonic Frontiers and the Pokemon Legends Arceus, and much more. So I am looking forward to seeing how this goes, and I think it's also good in the case of Nintendo fans that they will be able to play Elden Ring not only on the go, but for the first time, as Nintendo and From Software will be collabing on the Dustbloods, which is a Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive that Nintendo is funding, and it is pretty massive to have this big company as Nintendo, along with one of the biggest, or arguably one of the biggest Japanese developers being From Software, collab on a project, as it feels long overdue, as we have seen Nintendo with Platinum Games, Koei Tecmo, and much more. And I think it's going to be very heated as Zelda and Elden Ring or Souls kind of discourse can be on the internet, lots of video essays and that sort of thing, along with just looking deeper into what these games do, the open world, the story, the combat, the exploration, the DLC, etc. and so forth. There's a lot to digest in what these games do in the Japanese AAA space, as it feels like it has shrunken over the few years, as we mostly see it from like a Capcom and Nintendo, that sort of thing. And I am definitely excited to see where this goes. If you had to ask me which game do I like Breath of the Wild a lot. I think it's a very pretty game, and I enjoy the exploration. Meanwhile, Elden Ring, I did not enjoy my experience with Elden Ring. I didn't think the game looked all that great, and the dungeons and the action combat really weren't to my taste. I've played a few of the other Dark Souls games before, like Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Demon Souls, and Bloodborne, but I felt with Elden Ring, it just did not benefit, or it was the kind of style I was looking for in the genre for open world RPG, and I really do hope that this discussion will be lots of fun, even if it's probably going to be really bloody, because it's internet discourse, and I also look forward to seeing what, in this case, like, even like the Souls fan, at least try Breath of the Wild or something like that. But I think it's gonna be good, and I can't wait to see what goes on. Maybe we can have From Software even collab on a Zelda game in the future, as Koei Tecmo has been leading that and even made action combat as well. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.